Good afternoon, scholars. Today's lesson is Unit 1, Section 2. The three topics we're going to talk about and go over are number 1, order of operations, number 2, distributive property, and number 3, using some simple formulas. Now, order of operations is something you've already had before, so this should be a review for all of you. Remember the little acronym PEMDAS and what the letters stand for. First one, the letter P, parentheses. Always do what's inside parentheses first. That takes priority over everything. After that, we have an E. This stands for exponents. And sometimes it's not expressed very often, but it also stands for roots. Okay? As in square roots or cubic roots. Sometimes teachers will use the word radicals. We'll take care of those at the same time. Okay, the third thing is multiplication and division. Order from left to right. Sometimes we see those used, but remember, multiplication and division is not, it just depends on which one comes first. If division comes before multiplication, I divide. So multiply or divide left to right. Just depends, again, which one comes first. Sometimes you have to do multiplication before division, sometimes division before multiplication. So watch yourself on that step. Number 4, add, subtract. Again, I'm going to put on here add or subtract. The same rule applies here too. I do this in order from left to right. And left to right. Again, if you have subtraction before addition, you do the subtraction. If it's addition before subtraction, you do the addition. So again, be careful of those last two. Again, this is a review for all of you. You've had it in junior high, 6th grade, 5th grade. So again, order of operations. So let's review a question. I have one written down. I'll just kind of take you through the steps real quick of what you would do. So, quick example. 1 plus 2 times 5 squared minus 6 plus 4 divided by 2, and we'll square that as well. Alright, so my first rule that I have to do is P, which is parentheses. I'm going to compute the stuff inside parentheses first. So here I have 1 plus 2 times 5. So I'm focused on this one, and over here, the addition and multiplication. PEMDAS says to do multiplication and division before I do add and subtract. So 2 times 5 comes first. Parentheses, there's my square. Minus, let's take care of this one. Again, I have 6 plus 4 divided by 2. Addition, division. I have to do division first because, or again, order of operations, division comes before add or subtract. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. Bring everything else along. Still inside of parentheses. 1 plus 10, 11. Squaring it when I'm done. 6 plus 2 is 8. Square that when I'm done. So now I take care of this. Here's my exponent, parentheses. Parentheses are all taken care of. So I just go 11 squared minus 8 squared. 11 squared is 121 minus 64. And then whatever you get for a final answer when you subtract those two numbers. If you're old school, don't have a calculator, 121 minus 64. There it is by hand. 7. Carry this, change the 12 to 11. 11 minus 6 is 5. So 57. final answer. And one trick, and maybe you guys have forgotten this in the past, but how do you know this answer is right? The trick with a subtraction problem is take your answer, 57, add it to the number you were subtracting it from. So now add these up, and if you get the top number, you are correct. So a little trick to correct all your subtraction issues. Unless you have a calculator, then you don't have to worry about it. Just make sure you're pressing the right numbers. Part 2, the distributive property. Some of you have had practice with that before, some of you have not. So I'm going to go over, just again, refresher on how to use that distributive property. It deals with parentheses and numbers outside and inside. I'm just giving you some time to finish copying this down if it's not over. So let me give you a problem, an example of your distributive property. Okay. So I'm going to put a variable in this question as well. Think of a distribution as if you were passing out papers to everyone in the class. Everybody in the class will get a piece of paper. So you're distributing something to everyone. So in this case, the paper might be the number 2. And what's in parentheses are my classmates. They're all going to get the number 2. Okay? And I always like to sometimes to help remind students, is I'll put a couple lines over top. And that reminds me that I have to take the 2 to the 4 and the 2 to the x. Now when we distribute, we use multiplication. So this is going to be 2 times 4 plus 2 times x. All right? So again, distribute by multiplication, and the sign in between is still my add sign, so that is not going to change. Now we just simplify the expression. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 2x. And that is my simplified expression. Notice that they are unlike terms, so I cannot finish them off. 8 does not have an x, so I can't add them together. Or you could say, well, the 2 has an x, so that's why I can't put it with the 8. Final answer is going to be that one right there. I'm going to go over some more examples so you have lots to go by. I'm going to erase this problem now, so hopefully you have copied it down. Missed it, just go back, rewind it, watch it again, freeze it, and you can bring it right back up. All right, some more examples of distributive property. Maybe it is x, parentheses, 4 minus 2x. We're just going to kind of keep them simple, nothing complicated. Again, distribute. So x times 4. This time it's minus x times 2x. So let's simplify this. X times 4, we know when we write expressions, we always start with a number first. So you write that as 4x minus x times 2 times another x. This 2 goes out front. And I have a couple x's, so that becomes x squared. Again, x times x is x squared. Now, common mistake I see students make. X times x is x squared. Here's the mistake students make. X plus x is not the same thing. One x plus another x is 2x. So these are very different. So watch yourself when you're multiplying variables as opposed to adding variables together. The third thing for this section, using simple formulas. I'm going to give you some really easy formulas to use so they won't be complicated. The first one, D equals RT. Okay? In your science classes, you may get this formula: distance equals rate times time. So easy question is, if r equals 4, t equals 6, what is d? Again, I give you two variables, easy substitution. D equals 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24. Again, simple substitution using simple formulas. Other formulas that can be pretty easy too. I'm just going to make this one up as well. M equals 4 plus P, and all I do is say, okay, let P equal 10. What would M work out to be? So M equals question mark right now. So let's take a look. P is 10. So 4 plus 10. That's an easy one. Gives you 14. Okay. So a little addition, multiplication question. But what if we had something like this? M equals 4 plus P. And I said, let M equal 12. What is P? So, big old question mark. So let's substitute 12 in for M. And a lot of you have really good experience solving equations like this type right here. This is an easy one. We would just take away 4, and we get 8 is equal to P. Another way to think about this is 4 plus what number is 12? That's an easy way to think about it too. So again, 4 plus 8 would give me 12, so P would have to be 8. So some easy formulas that we're going to use: multiplication, addition. We even subtracted here at the end. We did a distributive property, several examples, and then order of operations, a reminder to use PEMDAS. All right. So later on, you'll have an assignment and some practice problems to work on, so that you can remind yourself how to do some of the stuff, which is review, and maybe even some of the stuff might be new to you. So good luck again on those practice problems.